Oh, hello, didn't see you there. Thought I might tell you about yesterday, which was my biggest load of training in a day that I've ever had before. So yeah, enjoy. Yeah, so my day started at, what was it? I woke up at like 6:20, and of course I always set my alarm 10 minutes before I have to get up because I don't like waking up and instantly having to get up, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I had to get up early to go for a 2 hour swim. And yeah, I was hoping that it wasn't going to be too bad. But yeah, there was only like 3 or 4 people there as well because the rest of the team was at championships, which was, New Zealand Secondary School Swimming Championships. Yeah, when I said all the rest of the team were at secondary schools, that's because they're all swimmers. And the only people who were at training yesterday were people who do swimming for like other sports like me for triathlon. The warm-up was super long as usual with like 2K total warm-up, which included butterfly as you'd expect, right? And this is actually quite funny. The day before in my afternoon swim, after we'd done the main set, coach says to do 5 200s at VO2 max to remove the lactic acid. Like, what? So yeah, it was okay, anyway, back to Saturday. We're talking about Friday now. Okay. So the main set for yesterday morning was 3100s. The first 10 were at threshold pace with 5 seconds rest after each one. The next 10 were at VO2, which is like a 180 heart rate with like 10 seconds rest. And then the final 10 were VO2 plus, which is like nearly max effort pretty much. Yeah, with 15 seconds break. So yeah, there were 2 other people who were at a similar ability to me that did the set with the same set as me. But they, in the first 10, for some reason they just decided to go ham. They just went flying. Because I actually paced this workout correctly. Like I did my first 10 actually at threshold and not like they did at VO2 plus 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 plus. Because then what happened? Yeah, so I did my first 10 in like averages of, I don't know, like 127 for 100 meters. And they were doing it at like they did their first one in like 115 or something ridiculous. Yeah, so then the next 20, like I didn't really improve because I was kind of dead. I was averaging like 126s or 127s again. But the other boys were slowing down a heap ton. Like they did their first 10 at threshold like miles faster than their VO2 efforts. So I don't know why they did that. Yeah, because I ended up swimming faster than them at the end. So yeah, those 3100s were just pain the whole way. And I also trained to failure because oh my god, come on Ethan, think, what was I about to say? What was I about to say? Yeah, my last 400s were the slowest, which is good, which meant I trained to failure. So yeah, because my last 400s were probably like 130s. Yeah, definitely 130s. And then we did a ton of warm down because that's just how swimming is. Yeah, we did like lengths of having to hold our breath for like, we only could do 2 strokes per length because that apparently loosens the lactic acid by holding your breath and stressing yourself out. I don't understand swimming. If you're a swimmer, if you understand why this is, comment. So, at 9 o'clock, the swim was finally over. We still had a lot left in the day. So at 2 p.m, I was planning to go riding with one of my friends who's a very, very high level track cyclist. But yeah, and he's still good at road cycling. It doesn't mean he's bad at road cycling. So I was going to go for a ride with him, which I was pretty nervous about because, as you know from watching this channel, if you have before, or if you didn't know, cycling is my weakest leg in the triathlon by quite a bit. After I calmed my nerves and went up to ride with him. Oh yeah, this cycle was part of a brick session. So brick session was, I was riding from my house up to Te Miro, which is this steep hill. I had to ride easy up to it and then go hard up the hill, and then I had to ride steady back home, like tempo of it. And then I had to get off the bike and then transition into a run as quickly as possible. And then the run set was 5 minutes steady, 2.5 minutes rest, then 5 minutes tempo, 2.5 minutes rest, and then 5 minutes hard. Yeah, so it was a long training session, especially after 3100s. Yeah, so on my way to meeting up with my friend, yeah, like there was so much headwinds. It was so annoying because I was trying to save as much energy as possible. Yes, anyway, we meet up at this place. And then he says to me, "Oh, Ethan, you only brought 2 bottles for a 2-hour, 1 bottle for a 2-hour ride?" I'm like, "We're not riding for 2 hours, mate." Yeah, we're going up Mangakawa. I'm like, whoa. If you didn't know, Mount Mangakawa is this like crazy steep hill of an average of like 10% gradient. And I already find Te Miro hill hard. And that hill is a 4% gradient. So yeah, I was like, nah, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing a run after this. I'm just running up Te Miro. It's like, okay, no, we're actually gonna have to do extra. We're gonna go to around Aspen as well. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. At least I got out of Mangakawa because I'm not ready for Mangakawa. My hill cycling is still I've got work to do. Yeah, so we start riding, and his like easy riding pace. like I was struggling to keep up. Like he was running at like 37k an hour and just chilling while I was just literally pushing. And this was on the flat. And then every now and then he'd look back and he'd be like, come, give me the signals. And it was so windy as well. So he'd say something to me like, trying to signal to me like, Ethan, come to my right. And I'm like, what? I couldn't hear crap. I'm like, oh no, I don't know what he's saying. Then he would go over where we were going and he would say like, oh, we're doing this loop and then we're going here, and I could barely hear it because the wind. At one point he started riding the bike and steering it with no hands. I'm like, how does he do this? So yeah, we ride through Aspen. Aspen wasn't too bad. I tried my hardest to keep up with him, but he's a track cyclist. Every now and then to show off, he'd sprint and like crazy fast, man. When we got to Te Miro Hill, I actually got up to the hill before him because he was just going easy and I was going hard. Yeah, so I said bye to him on my way back down the hill. Now I was already like probably a third, well no, not a third, like, I don't know, 400 meters down the hill by the time he started. And then he decided, oh yeah, I'm not going to go down my car, I'm going to try chase this buddy down. So yeah, and he caught up to me right at the bottom of the hill. So like my max speed down the hill was like 55k an hour and his was like 69. How? But unfortunately, I failed to PR on the Te Miro Hill. My best is currently, like for the steep section, my best is 6 minutes flat, which is an average of like 20.5k an hour for like 4.5% gradient. And yeah, yesterday I managed to do it in like 6 minutes and 20 seconds or something, which is like 19k an hour. This is when I was worse at hills. How did I climb up the hill so fast? Unless Strava messed up the map or something. So yeah, I was annoyed because I thought I did well, but I didn't beat it. I was still like way off. But I still pushed my hardest up the hill, which was good. And I rode steady back home at like 32, 33k an hour. And then every now and then there'd be side winds and they'd nearly push me off the road, which was epic. So yeah, by the time I got off the bike, I really did not feel like running at all. So yeah, and then the run began. It's weird because when you start running after you bike, you feel like you're running a lot slower than you actually are. Like I felt like I was going on like 440 pace at the steady effort, but and I looked at my watch and it was 410. I'm like, okay, we need to slow down. And no, at the start of the run it was 340. I'm like, okay, chill, Ethan, this is steady. But then, yeah, the 5 minutes hard, that was awful, man. I averaged like 345 pace. But then, yeah, I started my cool down. But literally 2 minutes into it, I cramped. I literally cramped for a bit. And I was like 2k away from home. And yeah, then I realized, oh crap, I can't run at the moment. I might have to walk home. So I started walking for like a minute or something. Then I'm like, okay, let's see if I can run. And it hurt at first, but then it just got better. And I finished the 2k back home. And yeah, that was the end of my biggest training day yet. Yeah, I burned like 4,400 calories yesterday, which is like more than some of the sidemen burnt on their calorie challenge when they were trying to burn as much calories as possible. So yeah, it was a big day. 6k of swimming, 42k's of biking, and 7k's of running. And I'm so tired today. All I've done today is like nothing. I've only done 1,500 steps. And I've only burnt 170 active calories. Yesterday I burnt over 2,000 and I've had a whopping 6 active minutes today. I've enjoyed my rest day today except for all the stupid homework I've had to do. But yeah, thanks for watching guys. I'll see you in the next video and make sure to like and subscribe.